Listen up, wrestling fans.
I have too many notes, man.
Get out of the fucking ring.
He's from Minnesota. All Minnesotans know Japanese as a second language.
Welcome to Strong Honor. This is Tommy Stryker. This is a podcast where we talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Joining me back in studio after a holiday weekend off, or holiday week off. 4th of July week last week, but Joe's back.
What's up?
Taco's back as well.
What up?
And we got a lot to talk about where the G1 is upon us. So we're going to get into that here shortly. And
I'm glad to see everyone's fingers are still intact from the 4th.
yeah, fingers are intact. And you know what? I got to make an adjustment here because you guys were gone for a week, and I just did a sound check, and now it's weird again. So
what a week it was, too, man.
Yeah, that G1 special show was an awesome show. Looking forward to talking to you guys about that. But then, so we'll talk about that, of course, and all the stuff that happened there. So many crazy things that came out of that show. And then coming up, starting on Saturday, the G1 Climax tournament is here.
G1 Climax.
So it is upon us. This is the biggest tournament of the
climax is upon us.
It's upon us, man.
All over your face, neck, and chest.
But yeah, this is the big one. This is the 20-man tournament that's going to determine not only who's going to challenge at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but it's going to determine storylines for the rest of the year. Who's facing who for all the championships except for the Intercontinental, of course, because Jericho's not in the tournament.
Nope. So,
but everybody else, all the other champions all the other potential heavyweight tag team champions are in this thing, except for the Young Bucks, which is interesting. So there's a lot of interesting stories to get into talking about the G1. We're going to talk some Ring of Honor this week, of course, Ring of Honor TV. We got a couple of house shows next week, so we'll preview that stuff next week, of course.
For ROH?
Yeah, not till next Friday. So nothing, no Ring of Honor house shows and stuff no Honor Club stuff this week. So
do we want to bring up that Dojo Pro thing since it involves Ring of Honor this week?
Well, yeah, I think we should. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. Well, let's get through some of the. Let's get through the New Japan stuff first. I think people are chomping at the bit to hear what we thought.
Why? What happened?
Oh, absolutely. Our opinions matter.
Did stuff happen?
Well, people are here to listen to us as fans talk about the things that happened on this show, and let's get into it. Let's jump right into that. The main event from the G1 special: Cody versus Kenny Omega. A unique match in that. It's kind of the Cody Rhodes special. It was let's bring in all the quote smoke and mirrors, referencing his old WWE theme song. It was tables, it was craziness, it was over the top bumps.
A really really weak kick from Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah, I love Josh Barnett. Did she just kick him? Nah, I'm seeing things.
So, Omega wins the match. A bunch of V-triggers, hits the one-winged angel. But just craziness in the match. That suplex off of the ladder.
Oh, my God.
And then the Kenny Omega power bombing Cody out of the ring onto the table on the floor.
That didn't break.
Yeah, that
did
one
not break.
It was very
bent the leg very nicely.
Very a very Japanese-like table here in America. The table bent but did not break.
They specially brought it in.
Yeah, those tables are interesting. It looks like they just went and got some plywood and were like, ooh, take those parts off the table and put it on that plywood.
Right. Get some plywood and put some legs on it. So, yeah, interesting there with that table stuff. And then, some crazy bumps in the match.
I didn't expect it to go as long as it did, honestly. That was a long match it's a championship match, so you could expect it, but with Cody and Kenny, I was hoping for, maybe a little bit smaller of a sample, take a little bit of the breaks out of the deal for me. And again, that's the part that's not exciting about the Cody Rhodes matches. There's a little bit more of that in between, I feel.
And with the announcers even pointing out, Josh Barnett and Jim Ross, that it's a bit ridiculous that the referee is allowing a ladder to be brought into the ring and all the skullduggery at ringside.
Yeah, but they were salty once that table got knocked into JR. They were salty the rest of the fucking night.
They were a little salty before that too. I mean, obviously we could go back to the last time New Japan was in Long Beach or whatever at the Walter Pyramid when they cut to commercial and Josh Barnett's like, yeah, they're doing all the tag team stuff and nobody's the legal man in the ring and you got to get out of the fucking ring, Get out of the fucking ring. So one could say the same thing about Josh Barnett earlier in the night, but we'll get to that here.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting theories on that going around too. That we'll talk about. But this main event, the right man won. I didn't for a moment think that Cody would win, and it was good effort. Obviously, putting. Cody's just not going to deliver bell to bell, even though he talked about it in his promos leading up to it on being the Elite and that All Us show on Cody's own YouTube channel. I got to talk about this. Last week on the show, I intended to play 2 Cody Rhodes promos from those 2 separate YouTube videos, and since I was doing the podcast by myself, I ended up doing some editing after the fact and ended up editing off the entire the entire first soundbite from Cody, his promo on being the Elite last week. I believe it's this one.
That's the way to be. Whoa! Why are we doing this bit? It's over. And not over in the sense that you want it to be. Why don't we talk about something topical, right? Why don't we talk about who's going to take the money? Are you going to take the money? Are you going to take the money? No. What are you talking about? Is Kenny Omega going to take the money? What are you talking about? That's the thing, right? You guys been flirting with the New Day. You're going to ride off into the sunset. What's your big ending for next week's being the Elite, huh? I mean, we're days away from me and Kenny Omega 2. What's the big ending? Is it going to be 8 weeks of work just to unveil some tattered, cheaply made t-shirt? Don't your fans have enough shit to buy already? And I'm not naive. I know it's Super Guard of Honor. You clearly meant to kick me. Well, you missed. And if you pick Kenny Omega again, you're going to miss again.
So I apologize. I talked about that promo and then edited it out completely, and then just played the second one, which I won't replay. But in that second one, he talks about I'm going to prove the doubters wrong, that I can hang bell to bell with a guy like Kenny Omega, and of course it wasn't that. But I think they did a good job with all the gimmicks and all the smoke.
I think you're kind of being too hard on him a little bit, because I felt like the first match was definitely them kind of going at it, but hitting those hard moves where those refs made sense. They're kind of going at it. Then the fuckery kind of got involved, and the tables and the ladders. Yeah. So it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until fucking a suplex off the top of the ladder. How are you going to get any bigger than that? Well, let me just throw you out of the fucking ring this time. So it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, can you guys settle the fuck down? Go back to the ring, Matt. Go back into the middle of the ring and wrestle. We weren't expecting a TLC match in that sense. Right. So, I thought he held his own. I thought he did really well.
No, I agree. In this setting, if there wasn't all of that stuff, I think the match would have suffered.
It would have been shorter match too, though.
Right? It would have been. Yeah, it should have been. So let's talk about the post match stuff. The celebrating with
what happened?
really the only surprise of the night, I feel. That's the one thing about the 2 American shows they've done. They didn't really shock us, like, storyline wise, because again, it's an American show and I get that, but I feel like there should be a little bit more in line, or just let one title change hands, something to that nature.
Well, there was the U.S. title, but we'll get to it.
Oh, well,
forget about Juice.
Wow, I forgot all about Juice.
He's the baddest motherfucker alive, Joe.
You're right.
Team Tongan, the Gorillas of Destiny, and King Haku fucking taking out the entire Bullet Club. Cody coming out and running to the rescue, kind of teasing, going after Kenny and the Bullet Club again, but ends up attacking the Tongans.
Even Chase coming out.
I know. I'm so sad,
right?
That the honorary Tongan era for Chase Owens is over. He put the tweet out of him throwing the honorary Tongan T-shirt away. Chase worked so hard on that Tongan death grip for so long, teaming with Bad Luck Fale in the World Tag League last year. So I'm desperately sad for Chase Owens being maybe he's one that they convert. Maybe they bring him back in as an honorary Tongan. Maybe him and Yujiro, I wouldn't mind, and leave the elite all on their own possibly.
Even the playing field a little bit. Yeah.
And I wonder how much of this is storyline that's going to be Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, or is it going to be, let's get away from all this nonsense of the Bullet Club against each other, and is it going to be about Team Tongan bringing the Bullet Club kind of back to a more heelish side? And I wonder, can you do that with a Kenny Omega kind of being the top guy right now? What do you guys think?
I think it could be done because I like Tama Tonga. He's got the attitude for it. I think he just needs to be put into those big match situations. Like, again, the fact that at the end, I was like wondering the whole time as they're beating their asses down, are they doing this as Bullet Club Tongan, or are they doing it on their own? Are they starting their own Tongan fashion? And then right at the end, Tama Tonga just shouting, this is what the Bullet Club looks like. I'm the leader of the Bullet Club. Like, really nailing it in that it's like, we're still Bullet Club, but we're the better Bullet Club.
Well, and the new the T-shirt has BC on it, still representing Bullet Club as an OG or whatever. But yeah,
well, who's the wolf pack of the fucking Bullet Club? The elite. Doing off their own thing, going off to the side. I fucking love this shit. I want to see Tama Tonga step up. I want him to get more of the spotlight, and every time he does, he fucking kills it and he nails it. And there's a big Sports Illustrated article with him right now. He's just, Civil War's been brewing for a long fucking time, and he's ready for this, and I love it.
Yeah, and I think he's been underrated on some of his promos too. I think some people talked down about when they introduced Bone Soldiers, who I imagine he might be part of the Team Tongan here too. Where does he kind of fall in line?
Same with Bad Luck Fale too. He wasn't even on the trip. Like he's got to be on the Tongan side.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I'm excited about him too. He fucking got in mad shape these last couple months. Yeah, he's ready for war.
Really excited to see what he looks like for the G1 Fale, that is.
And he always racks up them points.
So, yeah, really interesting stuff. Omega is going to meet Tama Tonga in the G1 Climax, so we'll get into that here, talk about some of our predictions here shortly. And well, I've finished my complete prediction bracket. Joe has made his predictions but hasn't calculated all the points.
Correct.
And Taco just hasn't gotten to it.
I've colored, that's it.
So, but we'll get into it here. So other stuff from this G1 special, the semi-main event, who again was in a tough spot, but I thought really delivered. Jay White versus Juice Robinson for the U.S. Championship.
First off, those fucking pants Juice was wearing.
Hot. yeah. And the promos Juice was cutting going into it. Obviously, we played that hot the Juice promo from a couple of weeks back. He was talking shit during the press conference as well, saying, if I beat Jay White, you're just a weird dude who counts to 5 in the dark. Fucking, he's just been killing it. I haven't had a chance to check out these G1 special post-match promos yet. I've started to watch some of them, but I just noticed that they were up on New Japan World today, so I haven't.
Juice is good. I might have only seen a small sample of it, but the piece I saw, like he's going off script. He's just being Juice, man.
I was completely shocked by the outcome of this match, just because I was looking at it logically, right? Because I was rooting for Juice all the way. I was like, I was loving it. But I'm looking at this G1. Juice is in the B block with Okada, or not Okada, but Omega, Ibushi, Tetsuya Naito, Ishii's in there, Kota Ibushi. I'm like, they're not going to put the U.S. Championship on this guy, then have him go to the G1 and lose a bunch of matches. And I'll talk about what I got Juice doing in the G1, but I think it's okay for him to lose some matches to some high. It's okay for Juice to lose to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's the fucking IWGP champion.
And it's okay for him to get the surprise victory over him, too.
Correct, which he has done in the past, which makes this matchup interesting.
Champion versus champion, shit.
Right, and all the other matchups in that block, and who is Juice going to upset in that block? So we can get into all of that there. But yeah, this match, lots of fun. I thought the crowd was into it. I did watch this match twice now, and I thought the second time around watching it, not quite as intense as the first, kind of knowing how it was going to come out. But it was interesting to watch just how great a heel that Switchblade, Switchblade Jay White. He's really coming into his own as a heel and just doing really good at getting heat in these matches.
Oh yeah,
and we got to talk about the spot with JR and Josh Barnett.
Get out of the fucking ring.
I rewound that clip so many times to see JR fall on his ass. he was pretty bothersome to me. Barnett was getting a lot of the heat. I thought he was better all night than JR was. JR, I was just completely over him.
Yeah, when you're screwing up guys' names and stuff.
At this point, it's like, dude, you're supposed to be a fucking professional. You're supposed to be, you're top shelf. You're not bomb dollar liquor. You're the top shelf liquor, JR. So, you need to be on your fucking point. And he just doesn't. He just doesn't give a fuck. And
and he doesn't have the pop anymore. That's the thing with these two is there's just no excitement. There's no, as sad as it sounds, there's no Michael Cole calling, here comes the big dog, something of that name. There's none of that big stuff. Even the Japanese commentators, there's the build-up. They build it up. They scream, and they're going crazy. It's Josh Barnett and JR. Yeah, they got this match going on, and look at that.
Barnett actually has some knowledge, though. He can actually spit some facts at you where fucking JR is still stumbling over the words, and I laugh because of Russo, and it's like, well, at least Russo actually learned their names.
Well, did he? You never know.
Los Ingobernables de Japan.
Well, at least Russo gets the second B in Ingobernables.
But it's just, yeah, right. It's just really embarrassing at this point, and I fucking JR is classic, but
I want to. Yeah,
he needs to move on if he doesn't give a fuck.
I want to go back to what Joe was saying. I like what you were saying about Barnett. He does bring a lot of knowledge, but what you were saying, where JR just kind of seems on one level, he doesn't really go up or down in excitement. When you got a guy, and Barnett's kind of the same way. It'd be nice if the lead announcer had a little more dynamic to him, where he would go up and down, and then Josh just brings kind of the more deadpan analysis.
Like, I think the biggest pop I heard of JR was Toma Tonga hitting the stunner.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be the stun gun.
Exactly, and Josh Barnett corrected him.
Right. But yeah, Toma Tonga's hitting them stun guns. Awesome. Really good, really nice execution of those stun guns from Toma Tonga.
And that's what a fucking, leaders need, that fucking move. And yeah, fuck it. It was good night.
Back to Juice and Jay.
One more. I want to go back to JR just really quickly here. I personally do give him a little bit of a pass just because he's past his prime. He was who he was back in the day, and he had his great moments. He was great in his time. Now he's past his time.
We've said this every fucking time he's commentating for New Japan. I give him a pass because it's JR. No, he fucking needs to move on, okay?
Yeah, he needs to be done.
He's still a professional. Like, I don't care about his energy levels or anything. It's just he brings nothing to the table.
Well, the good news is you're going to get Kevin Kelly live for every G1 Climax show.
Yes.
So you're going to get lots of good English commentary out of Kevin Kelly with a rotating series of guests after the first couple of nights. Don Callis will be on the first couple of nights, and then he'll have special guests, a.k.a. Chase Owens.
Rocky Romero.
Right. But you get some nice gems in there. And you get some good ones and some bad ones, but it'll be fun to kind of see who he brings up and who really comes to the table and delivers on the English commentary Let me see here. But the story of the match here, too, between Juice and Jay White. Juice selling the hand the whole time. He finally fucking hits that punch and the pulp friction, and White kicks out.
Yeah, that got me.
And then, so now everybody thinks, well, Switchblade's winning. He kicked out of the fucking pulp friction. And then he goes back to he wins the match with a roll-up, which he fucking talked about in his promo, where he's like, you think I can't hit the pulp friction? I'll roll a motherfucker up. So I love that they fucking double swerved us. Thanks, Russo.
My botch.
They gave us the double swerve there, but hits the roll up like he talked about in his promo leading up to it. So I just thought that was a brilliant.
Super excited to see him as champion.
Yeah, and again, I was rooting for him, but not expecting it, so I fucking popped.
It was that fucking feel good victory, man.
Yeah. Okay, Dragon Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi. Of course, the story out of this is the Phoenix Plex that got botched. Hiromu lands on his neck. The Phoenix Plex itself, even when executed properly, is a really ugly, dangerous move. You're basically bumping on your upper shoulders and neck.
The execution of the move is ugly.
Right,
just
right.
The front of it.
Yeah. So yeah, he lands on his neck. Some people think he broke his neck. He spent a few days in the hospital. He did fly back to Japan today on Wednesday, the day we're recording this. So he was able to fly back to Japan now. He's going through some treatments. So that's all we know. We don't know if the broken neck thing is official. So we're kind of still waiting to see how this all turns out. But a hell of a match between Hiromu and Dragon Lee.
It starts off with a bang. He just hits him right out of the ring. Like he's barely dropped off Daryl Jr., you know?
Well, it was a Hurricane Rana off the apron to the guy jumps over the top rope, runs at him, jumps over the rope, off the apron to the floor with a Hurricane Rana, and we're off and fucking running. So,
yep.
That was
ding, ding, let's
insane.
go.
As JR and Josh Burnett are confused over a cat. JR's like, I'm not talking about this anymore.
I'm just looking at my notes here to see if there's anything else.
I have too many notes, man.
But yeah, no, just an insane match. Hopefully Hiromu's okay. He did retain, of course, the championship.
Yeah, went a couple minutes after that spot too.
Yeah, they did that, and then he had to go back and hit the time bomb.
Kind of fucking ghosting it though.
They
wrapped it up quick.
Yeah. So,
but mad props to that motherfucker just for finishing the match.
So I wonder. So let's say Hiromu does have to take some time off due to the injury. I do think, even if it is quote a broken neck, a lot of people have broken necks, have recovered and come back.
Well, Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
Right. So I think it would be obviously, and we haven't talked about this a lot on this show, so I think it's important to. Obviously, Hiromu needs to change his style up and not take so many rough-ass neck bumps. First of all, if and when he comes back.
I think this should not just him, though, a big opener to other people like Ospreay.
Yeah.
He was the big target of, point the finger at, be careful, but
a lot of finger waving coming.
Is
from
this really going to stop
veterans.
Hiromu? I hope he changes. I hope they don't do that crazy shit anymore. But
the thing is, it's like Ospreay he still does some dangerous stuff, but he does pick his spots a little bit more now. He saves it for
Hiromu's
the bigger
just been
matches.
Balls to the wall for the last month,
right?
months.
Yeah, the Super Juniors doing the running missile drop kick up in the stands and shit. So
but speedy recovery.
Cork and Hall shows.
I wish him the best. Depending on how bad the injury is too, they can almost give it the Jericho treatment. Just kind of keep it hush hush and bring up some new Super Juniors in the mix.
Well, and again, with it being G1 season now, there's not really a need to even have the junior heavyweight champion around doing matches. I mean, we just had between the best of Super Juniors and the title defenses. I feel like they've been going crazy for like 2 or 3 months now.
I kind of want to see. I've said before, I kind of want to see Kushida move up a little bit. Skrull's kind of top dog in there, and Will Ospreay's kind of off in Australia and New Zealand doing his thing right now. So it's just kind of I don't want to say put on the back burner, but move on for a little bit, depending on how serious the injury is.
Well, I wonder if he's got to take some extended time off. I wonder if they do maybe a single elimination Super J-Cup style tournament to crown a new champion or something like that, or an interim champion or whatever.
Give it a few months, do a mini tournament, then make some more announcements after that. So yeah, there's time, and
because we got the next big tour after the G1 are the destruction shows in kind of mid to late September, and so you could do something there. There's that next United States show that they announced on September 30th.
We're only 5 months away from Wrestle Kingdom too, so there's a big podium for a new champion.
That's something they could do.
5 months isn't that bad.
No. Yeah, that's something they could do there as well. So, all right, let's talk about other stuff on this show. Naito and Bushi versus Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. This was kind of talked about as being a possible preview for the finals of the G1 Climax, and it is what I ended up predicting for finals. In my prediction was Naito.
I might have
Okada. Yeah, we'll know at some point once Joe does his math. So
doing the math. Doing the math. I don't know.
So interesting to note here, Okada has a new mix of his entrance music, and he's coming out with a little bit of swagger.
Spiked hair a little bit,
and he's got the new pants, the red and black pants. He's rocking the sleeveless T-shirt.
I loved Tourist Okada though, and fucking social media. It was the greatest. I need more Tourist Okada
at the baseball game.
Oh, he just
in the middle of the street.
He looked like a 12-year-old taking a picture at his first baseball game.
But yeah, he's come out. He's loosey goosey. It's not sad Okada from
drops a Scooby Dooby Doo off the top rope.
Exactly. Yeah, that was going to be my next thing. It's so interesting how different it is seeing Okada come out without the championship, without the big robe and the gold chains.
Yeah, it was so weird seeing him in the corner, arms open, with just Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, and I think there's going to be something at play with this going on in the G1, and then what happens at the end of the G1, and what that determines for Okada the rest of the year, which could be really interesting. But Okada and Ospreay get the win here. Ospreay gets the win over Bushi with his Stormbreaker after the Robinson special. Ospreay is going to have to move up to heavyweight. Ospreay at this point looks bigger than Naito. I just noticed that.
True.
It stood out like a sore thumb in this match. This guy was just junior heavyweight champion, and he's bigger than Naito. So it's unfortunate because he just brings that cool. I mean, his matches that he can have in the junior division is, it's a great thing, and he's talked about having pride in the junior division and wanting to stay there, but he's just getting too big.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where he's going to have to move up. But if he's up for next year's G1, all the new matchups, him going against all the heavyweights and having possible wins in there, I think it'd be really interesting there. Let's see here. I like the promos that they did during the intermission on this show. Just piping up the main events, the stuff for Juice and
even right off the bat of the show with the interaction with Bucks and Cody.
Right, yeah, the stuff at the beginning of the show, the stuff in the they filled. What I'm kind of getting at here is, I thought it was odd that they were doing an intermission on this show, because even on the Korakuen Hall shows, the Road 2 shows, all the shows in Japan, they've eliminated the intermission for the live shows, and I thought it was kind of odd that they went back to having one here. But I thought they did a good job filling the time by promoting the main events with video packages and stuff like that. So I thought that was nice. We talked
seeing fucking Omega in the back screen playing a tap screen phone on the screen. That all fucking hardcore. I was like, what is this game he's playing?
I talked about the September 30th show, Fighting Spirit Unleashed, back at the Walter Pyramid. We're going to get a Young Lions show on November 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
Lions Break 1, and it's going to feature, I'm sure, not only the Japanese Young Lions, but probably some prospects from the new dojo that's out there in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So that's going to be kind of cool. 2 days of Young Lion action. So that'll
Maybe we'll see a Shibata come out.
Ooh, that would be hot stuff. The Young Bucks versus Evil and Sonata, working our way backwards on this show here. Good match. I believed that LIJ could possibly get the win here, but it was the Bucks retaining. Not much to really talk about here. I thought it was
Except for how many times can you backflip into the skull end? Like, seriously, he did it 5-6 times in that match.
Well, I mean, that's kind of cool, though. I mean,
the first 3 times, and then when he does it off the top rope, that's pretty awesome. But then it's just like, whoa, he did it again. Oh, they escaped again. Fuck.
Well, that's apparently that'll be his big move in the G1 is flipping into the.
I think I got him
skull
and
end.
getting some surprise wins.
Yeah,
I'm on the Sonata train because of you last year.
I am off the Sonata train, and we'll get into it. I did not have a very favorable G1 this year for Sonata, but we'll get into it shortly here. I thought it was interesting, this match with the LIJ working over on Nick early in the match, where Nick's usually the guy that comes in and hits the crazy hot tag and kicks everybody and goes nuts. So I thought that was a little bit interesting. I loved the end of the match where they're teasing doing each other's finishers. I can't remember if it was Matt or Nick, but one of them does the STO, the everything is evil. And of course, JR has no idea that it's Evil's finisher, so he doesn't even call it as such. But
And LIJ hit the Meltzer driver too.
Yep, right. So I love them going back and forth with their finishers and stuff. I think a story coming out of the G1 is going to be how Evil and Sonata fare against like Ishii and Yano and those types, as well as other Suzuki Gun possibilities in there, like Zack Sabre and Minoru Suzuki possibly, and I don't have the blocks right in front of me, but I'm trying to remember here. But anyway, I think that's going to be a story coming out of the G1 too, is how the tag teams, Yano and Ishii, if I didn't say that already, how they fare against the LIJ guys. I think is a bit of a story as well coming out of the G1 and where things are leading going into the World Tag League at the end of the year, and if the Young Bucks still have the championships all the way into Wrestle Kingdom, or if they lose them to an Evil and Sonata again, or maybe some other tag team like a Zack Sabre and Suzuki, quite possibly.
Oh my God, I love that tag team.
Yeah, that could be that would be a very interesting foil for the Young Bucks, is a Suzuki and Zack Sabre feud. That would be really very different from
Welcome
what you're used to seeing. Right. Continuing to work our way backwards, Hiro Okigoto versus Jeff Cobb. I was a little disappointed in this match. It was a little too Hiro Okigoto for me. It was Goto working over Jeff Cobb, working them WWE style chin locks in there, but I thought Cobb looked good. I thought it was a decent match. And
always good to see Jeff Cobb out there.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just good. I haven't seen Matanza do a fucking standing backflip like moonsault onto a guy, so it's weird knowing that he's the same guy. But again, he moved fast, and one thing that impressed me with Goto is Jeff Cobb is not a small guy. No. He got him up a few times for solid suplexes.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's one thing you can say about Goto. He can hit those solid moves. And I think it was a more physical match than you're making it out to be. I think they really beat the shit out of each other.
It was physical, yeah.
But I was rooting for Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
Well, and it just made me just pine for, let's get Jeff Cobb in the fucking G1 Climax and get Yoshihashi the fuck out of there or something.
Man, we got to have the Hosh.
Well, it is true you got to have guys in there to lose too, so that is an important thing.
For Goto too, it did feel like one of those, I'm the fucking champion defenses too, which is good for the Goto end.
All right, then moving on, Marty Scurll and Hangman Page took on Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kushida. Hangman Page got the win over Kushida with his finisher, the Rite of Passage. So I think that's just to put over, okay, this is this guy's finisher, this is what he looks like, this is what he's going to look like going for wins in the G1 Climax. So a nice momentum-building win for Page going into the G1. And I like Hangman Page's singles theme music. It's kind of that... kind of a Western epic movie, kind of a.
I have to listen to it again.
Music. Yeah, I wish I had it here, but let me see if I can pull it up here. Talk amongst yourselves about Hangman Page and potentials in the.
So how
G1.
big's his dick?
Oh, it's got to be huge, right? Like a fucking what do you call it? An Evian bottle.
Oh, I was gonna say an anaconda.
The now famous dick wrestler.
That's what Tommy gets. Hey, talk amongst yourself. Oh, dicks they go to.
Right, they go right to the dicks.
Right to the dicks.
Sorry, it's just still fresh in my head. I was watching Being the Elite earlier.
A lot of dick
catching
talk.
up. There's always dick talk on there.
All right, let's see here. There's a couple of them. Let's see if this is it. That is not the one I was thinking.
Let's get rocking.
Let's try this one. Yeah, this is the one.
There you go.
Give it a minute to get into it here.
You got to build up, you know. He's just coming over the horizon on the horse right now.
This is where you're taking the swig of the bottle right now, slamming it.
See, this is kind of epic, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like this vibe for Hangman.
Perfect.
I can dig that.
Just his dick swing in the breeze.
Left, right.
Left, right. Left, right. Now bob and weave.
All right. Good stuff there.
Got to get off Hangman Page, otherwise we're going to be stuck on shit.
Suzuki and Suzuki and Zack Sabre versus Ishii and Yano. A bit of a rematch from the Strong Style Evolved UK shows, but it was Ishii and Okada teamed up there. Ishii and
Suzuki's a dick.
Ishii and Yano teamed up here. This was the team that Ishii had back in World Tag League last year. Probably go back to that again this year. It's such an interesting matchup with Yano's obnoxiousness and the serious hard-hittingness of Ishii. And this also, the finish of this went back to a finish that they did in another tag match between these four, where Yano went to go for the low blow on Zack Sabre, and Zack Sabre blocks it with his knees and then puts Yano in some fucking submission and taps him out. Well, this time, same thing. Yano goes for the low blow. He blocks it with his knees, but then Yano ends up rolling him up and getting the victory. So
that's how Yano rolls.
So now we're looking for Zack Sabre to get revenge on Yano in the G1 when they have their one-on-one match. And so that's kind of what we're looking for.
Sabre's going to come on fucking tank at this time.
Then that big 10-man opener, that was, of course, the big story there was King Haku out there teaming up with the Bullet Club and them.
With his boys, shit.
Yep. Tama Tonga getting the win.
That was fun. That was awesome.
Yeah,
started off.
Yep, Tama Tonga getting the win after a King Haku pile driver, I believe it was, right before the finish there. They teased him hitting the pile driver early in the match, going for a finish there. I thought that was kind of neat, just going for the quick victory there right off the bat.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this G1 Climax.
G1 Climax.
I thought it was the GI Climax.
Oh, that's what Russo called it.
GI Climax.
It's NGPW Wrestling, by the way.
NGPW GI Climax.
NGPW.
NGPW. Yes.
NGPW GI Climax.
Anyway. He's very tired.
My botch.
Well, his mom, didn't set his alarm clock.
He's
And I got to apologize. I'm a little late this morning. My mother did not set my alarm clock.
Hey. You fucking dickbag. Goddamn.
All right, so
Dork.
again, Joe has not calculated his predictions.
Oh,
Taco has not made his predictions.
God damn it!
Did you know you're falling behind when I've got at least predictions?
At least I got this.
You got a couple of days. But just off the top of your heads, guys, who are you feeling for like the finals? Who's going to win this thing?
I definitely would have had like the final four definitely pegged out of like that Naito match at the G1, but now with fucking this Bullet Club shit happening on, I'm kind of like wanting to bump like Fale up a few notches and Tama Tonga up a few notches because fucking who's in the same block with Omega that we're gonna see? Tama Tonga. What if he fucking pins Omega in this match, gets that upset victory, slaps his dick down a little bit, says, "Where's my title shot, bitch?" So like he doesn't need to win the G1, but him getting that victory over Omega. Oh, that's a title opportunity down the road to continue this Bullet Club feud some more, and I'm for that shit. Fucking Fale coming down, bitch slapping Okada down a little bit. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see Okada, get worked up a little bit. I want to see, OG Bullet Club fucking tear this shit up.
Well, I don't have a great G1 predicted for Tama Tonga. I'm feeling I'm digging the story of the Bullet Club and the strife between the Tongan faction and the elite as it be. But I've only got 3 victories for Tama Tonga. I got him beating Yano, I got him beating Sonata, and I do have him beating Omega. So that's the big upset in there, is him defeating the champion, and I think that'll set up a match either at the Destruction shows for Tama Tonga to go for the championship, or at King of Pro Wrestling in October. I'm thinking more likely for Tama Tonga it'll be the Destruction shows, where and it'll be Kenny Omega defeating him. I think obviously there, but I don't have him going too far in the tournament. But I do like the story that they're telling.
And when's he fighting Kota Ibushi too? Because I want to see him just dog slap him right in the fucking face. Like, I want war. That'll be an interesting matchup too. Let's see. So who are you? So you really? I see. Like, my heart at the fucking Wrestle Kingdom. I in the finals. We got to see Omega and Okada again after their fucking history and the belt off Okada now. You got to see that rematch for him to get his chance back at his fucking gold. He deserves it. If anyone fucking deserves a shot, it's already Okada.
Yeah, right. But at the same,
does he win it? It's like, to me, it's like he doesn't need to win this to get that shot.
I feel like I love that matchup. Everybody loves that match, but we've seen it 4 times now.
Exactly. So it's like, do you do it as the final of the G1 and Omega goes on and challenges someone, or it's been almost fucking 10 years since the champion won the G1. So it's like any opportunity. Who would have fucking pegged Omega to be the champion right now, even going into the G1? So it's just so much is fucking going on, and it's just everything to me points at either Okada or Naito facing Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. But getting in this position, it's just like Okada and Omega being in the finals. It's like, well, duh, you can get that out of the way and fucking, finally get that out, taken care of. But how do you get Naito in there? And does Naito win 2 years in a row? It's just like, it gets too much. You're almost pandering to the fans a little bit too much to me.
That's interesting that you think that might be some pandering. That's interesting. Well, I think Naito is going to win, and I'll get into all of that here because I think Naito and Omega at the Dome feels very unique.
Fuck yeah! I mean, we've seen them tear down the house already.
And these two have had great G1s in the past against each other. G1 finals, final day of block play between those two. This time they're meeting on the opening day of block play. Naito and Omega. So
Omega kicked him out of that fucking U.S. title tourney too.
Right. So we've got some good history. What do they do? How do they do on the big stage? And I think the story that we tell with Okada is him coming very close to winning the G1. I've got Okada and Naito in the finals. So a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom in the finals for the G1. And then this time it's about Naito overcoming Okada. He defeats Okada, who's now not the champion, but he still gets that victory over Okada. And then now post G1, we've got sad Okada again. What does Okada do? Well, here comes Chris Jericho back in October when he's done with his Fozzy tour. He needs somebody to challenge him. What if Okada goes for the Intercontinental belt? What if Okada goes on a year-plus long tear with the Intercontinental belt? What if the redemption story is Okada retaining that Intercontinental belt so long, goes through the G1 next year, wins the G1 next year, and then challenges Naito or whoever the champion is?
Next year sounds awesome.
But this is what they do, right?
I know.
It's this long-term booking. So
it's good.
I've been thinking about this for a couple of days now. Like, just what is? Because when I sat down to make my predictions, I'm like, I have no idea who's going to win this thing, where they're going at Wrestle Kingdom. I really don't, because it could be the Naito thing.
Tommy was like, Yoshihashi wins it all.
It could be Okada. We got to talk about the Kota Ibushi thing, because I think a lot of people are pining to see Omega versus Ibushi at the Dome, because there's a story there too.
See, and the one that I want to throw in there, again, he just ran the train on that one tournament, but Zack Sabre Jr. I think Omega Zack Sabre Jr. is just as as interesting a match at fucking Wrestle Kingdom, like these two going at it. So I think that, judging by the way, I've looked through my notes here a few times now, judging from the way it looks, it's looking like Okada, Zack Sabre Jr. for me in the finals for the different blocks.
Well, getting to my prediction bracket here, I did predict that Zack Sabre would beat Omega. So I got Omega with 2 losses, the one to Tama Tonga and the one to Zack Sabre. So I'm thinking Tama Tonga, he'll defend the championship versus him in September, either at the Fighting Spirit Evolved in the United States, which I think would be perfect to do it there because you do the angle in the U.S. at the Cow Palace, you bring it back and do the championship match in the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach. So I think that one's going to be there, and then you do the Kenny Omega Zack Sabre match at King of Pro Wrestling in October. I mean, I
2 losses and a draw, he's out of it. So Omega, 2 losses and a draw. Omega is not even winning the thing.
Oh, the tournament. You mean?
Yeah.
So
you can usually get someone over him to win the tournament that way.
Right. Well, and actually, what I have booked for the last couple of days in my tournament is that it's really close between Omega, Naito, and Kota Ibushi. On the last day, Naito has 14 points. Ibushi and Omega have 12. So if Ibushi wins, because I got Ibushi with the tiebreaker over Naito. So if Ibushi beats Omega, he would go on to the finals. Mm-hmm. So I have Omega and Ibushi going to a 30-minute draw, and then Naito winning.
Yep.
So that's what I have for a finals.
That keeps that story going.
Right. Then because then you've got
that's the only thing that makes sense with that match.
Right. You've got the draw between those two. That's unfinished business. You could come back to that and tell a longer story with the whole Golden Lovers thing. Because I think the Golden Lovers breaking up, sad as it would make many people, there's a bunch of really good wrestling matches.
Oh yes,
that you could have there as well. So. Yeah, I got Ibushi with 13 points, a bunch of wins. I got him beating. Who's the significant ones? Of course, I got him beating Zack Sabre, beating Naito, so he can have that tiebreaker there. I got him beating Goto, which is interesting because Goto's the never openweight champion.
Yeah.
So Ibushi could challenge for that belt sometime down the line. I got Goto with a couple of losses here as well. I got Goto losing to Ishii. So Ishii and Goto.
Literally every champion's in the B block.
Right? But Goto and Ishii for the Never Championship sometime down the road would be very, very good. Mm-hmm. I've also got Zack Sabre beating Goto. So Goto and Zack Sabre for the Never Championship, that could be good as well. But so you could do that one at Destruction, and then Zack Sabre could lose that one, but still challenge for the. Well, he could even win that possibly there as well, and then still want to challenge Kenny Omega at King of Pro Wrestling. But again, I didn't put that much thought into it. I just thought Zack Sabre would beat Goto.
Yeah,
probably.
That's where most of us are.
We got that championship on Juice now too, so it could set up a future title shot there.
Right. Let's talk about Juice, because that was one of my concerns about Juice winning the United States Championship is who he's got to face all these great guys in the B block, and who is he going to lose to that he's going to have to potentially defend the U.S. Championship against? I got him losing to Ishii. I think those two could have a hell of a United States Championship match. I got him losing to Goto, which I think is fine because Goto is the never openweight champ, and in the pecking order, I think that is a little bit above.
He's defended against some good names too,
right? And
tough names,
right? So I've also got him losing to Sonata. I think Sonata could challenge for that championship and have a pretty good match there. And then I got him losing to Kota Ibushi. Again, could challenge, but Kota Ibushi is kind of above the U.S. title level, too, at this point. But do you want to elevate the U.S. title and put it on a guy like Kota Ibushi?
Just even have a guy going for it does that.
Right. And then I got him losing to Naito, but of course with Naito's focus being on the main event at the Tokyo Dome, I don't think he's going to challenge for the U.S. title there. And of course losing
and that's one of my surprises I've noticed. I feel really good. I think Juice is going to get a big win over Naito.
That's a possibility there. I got him. Got Juice losing to Omega, of course, the IWGP champion. He can lose to him, not a big deal. The big upset, quote unquote upset, even though he's a champ and the other guy isn't. I got Juice beating Zack Sabre.
Wow.
So that's a
Right on.
So I mean, somebody's got to beat Zack Sabre, right?
Not really. I mean, let him run the train, man.
I got one win.
Ishii's gonna beat him again. Again.
I got one win for Yano. I got Yano getting the big upset on Kota Ibushi in that B block. And then Ishii goes on a nice run, gets to 10 points, so 5 wins.
I just want him to
Ishii.
win it all. Every fucking year. Ishii. Taco, who do you want to win? Ishii.
Get him in that main event at that Tokyo Dome. So,
that's all I want.
Yeah. It'd be hot. It'd be hot. I don't know if it would draw, but it'd be interesting. Moving over to the A block here.
A block.
So again, I've got Okada winning that thing.
Yoshihashi winning it all.
Wow, Tommy, that's shocking.
I've got the big story for me in the A block is I got Tanahashi going on a hell of a run here.
Ooh, I'm the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah. He's the former ace. He's had kind
exactly
of
former.
He's had a down year. I got him having a big run in the G1, and if he can defeat Okada in the final match of the G1, he goes on to win the A block and challenge for the G1 championship, which I think would be a really cool story, actually, especially in Japan where the guy's still pretty damn popular. But I do have Okada beating him on the final day to go on to win the G1.
They're the final night.
On the final night, yeah, those two meet the final night.
Okay.
So
hint.
So that's kind of the big spoiler there, or the big, because it's obviously it's going to build to that match. So poor Makabe. I got Makabe with only one win, and it is against Michael Elgin.
Yeah. Yoshihashi.
I got Makabe beating Elgin on the final day of A block play. So Makabe ekes one out there at the end. Speaking of the Michael Elgin guy that we don't like to talk about, I know Joe's not picking any wins.
0 wins.
The only other win I have for Michael Elgin is Yoshihashi, and I do have him beating Bad Luck Fale, and I think I only booked that because Fale. I was like, Fale's got too many wins here. He's going to be too close to in the points.
He's usually a high scorer though. He's usually top.
Well, I got where is Fale here? I got Fale with 8 points, so he was getting kind of close because the guys in contention had 12, and so Okada wins the thing with 16 at the end of it. But if again, going into the final, Tanahashi and Okada were both going to be at Okada was going to be at 14, but Tanahashi could get to 14 if he could beat Okada, and then if he beat Okada, obviously he's got the tiebreaker over Okada being beaten him, so that would be his way to get to the victory.
I think Fale will get 5-6 wins.
So, but yeah, I got Fale beating Makabe. I got him beating Hangman Page, which I think those two are going to have a hell of a match. I got him beating Evil. Got him beating Suzuki. So
maybe in this Bullet Club Civil War, we'll finally see Marty Scurll body slam Fale.
Well, that's going to be the thing too. Is since there's every show is going to have 5 singles matches, right? So the undercards are going to be 1 or 2 multi-man tag matches. So every other undercard is going to be Marty Scurll trying to body slam Bad Luck Fale. So as much as I'm going to want to skip some of these undercards or most of these undercards because there's fucking shows every other day, there's a couple of nice breaks in here too, though, where you can get caught up, which is kind of nice as well. So. Coming up this
yeah, they do the breaks for us. Wink, wink.
Right. Well, this first week we got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then they don't go again until Thursday. So we get a couple of days off at the beginning of the week next week. So that'll be nice. But where was I going here? Oh, before we were talking Fale. But yeah, I got Fale with a decent run. But let's talk Hangman Page here. I got Page on a hell of a run. I got Page getting to 12 points.
Really?
Nice.
points.
Yeah,
damn.
I got Page beating Makabe and Yoshihashi, of course. I got him beating Elgin and Evil. Evil, you could probably go either way. Evil might beat Hangman Page, but again, depending on how the points end up. But I got him beating him in my prediction. I got Page beating Suzuki, which is a bold prediction.
Dang.
Suzuki will probably beat Hangman Page, but again, I had to kind of cut off Suzuki.
He's going to go for the Gotch pile driver, but like, oh, your dick's too big, can't get around.
That's certainly a possibility. But again, I was trying to keep so that Suzuki wasn't getting too many points and being in contention late.
I don't know if Page would be proud or creeped out of this podcast.
Well, it's funny because as I was watching Being the Elite last week, and he's talking about how he's now a famous dick wrestler. He's the best famous dick wrestler now that Joey Ryan isn't around, and he learned so much from famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan when he finally dick flipped me and poured piss in my mouth and all that. And I was like, this is great stuff, but like Page he's a future star. He's future main eventer. He's like Ring of Honor's biggest golden ticket. So I don't mind him doing the dick wrestler stuff on Being the Elite, but doing it in like a New Japan ring or a Ring of Honor ring, I'd be way against. But him kind of being the goofball on
he comes out and just kind of hints it a little bit, moves on though. So he does it right. But I don't know. He's still keeping the Hangman thing, though. There's still merch and shit coming out with that.
Yeah, I don't
think he's stepping that far away from it.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago too. Because on Ring of Honor, it's just it's Adam Page, but he's still Hangman Page in Japan. And I think it's partially because the stigma isn't there with a guy coming out with a rope or a noose.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to trigger some issues here in the States. So it's understandable him kind of dialing that back stateside, but then over in Japan it's kind of like, oh, he's a big American with a hangman's noose. Ooh, that's
fancy cowboy.
Oh, you fancy, huh? So that's probably the reasoning of him kind of going back and forth on the name.
That dude's fucking gold, man.
So I got Page going on a hell of a run in the thing. 2 wins for Elgin. Evil, I got him on a nice run. I got him at 10 points. I got Evil beating Okada in here
again.
So and I've got him beating Tana. I got him beating Okada. Oh, right, hold on here. Right, is that right? I got Evil beating.
What kind of crack are you smoking?
Yeah, I got him beating Okada and Tanahashi. He's losing to Suzuki.
Evil?
Yeah,
you pass that over here. Look, cray.
I think I'm remembering now because as I was going through the tournament and I was like, okay, we got to cut off Tanahashi and Okada's momentum here, and so we're gonna have Evil's gonna have like this mid-tournament run where it's like, oh fuck, he's beating Tanahashi. Oh fuck, now he's beating fucking Okada. So I got Evil on a nice little run there in the middle of the tournament. So that's kind of
there's gonna be too much pressure on him on that Okada match again.
But I mean, he's gonna take some key losses. He's gonna lose to Fale. He's gonna lose to Page, and then he's gonna lose to Suzuki. And I got him losing to Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay White, I got him on a pretty good run too. I got Jay White with 12 points in this thing. I got him. He's beating Makabe and Yoshihashi. I got him beating Bad Luck Fale, which you could probably go either way on that one. I got him beating Elgin. I got him beating Evil. I got him beating Tanahashi and losing to just Suzuki and Okada and Hangman.
Okay.
So he's only got the 3 losses to Hangman Page, Suzuki, and Okada. I booked the Hangman Page loss as a bit of some 50-50 booking, if you will, because Jay White defeated Hangman Page at the Walter Pyramid to retain the U.S. title. So Hangman Page looking to get some revenge, get his win back per se over Jay White there. So got him on a hell of a run there. So those are kind of my thoughts. G1 Climax. Did I talk about Sonata on the other side on the B block? I feel like I kind of skipped over.
Yeah, we kind of did.
No, we
Sonata.
kind of covered.
We said he's a disappointment.
Yeah. I've only got him with 3 wins. I got him beating Yano. I do have him beating Juice, which I think is a key win there. He could challenge for the U.S. Championship, and I do have him beating Kota Ibushi too, which is a pretty bold prediction.
That's a big
one. A good fucking match, though.
It should be a really good match. And again, I booked I booked these wins just because it seemed at the time I'm going through it. I'm like, well, Ibushi's got some momentum. He's got to get cut off because we got to have these points line up right at the end here. So that was kind of my thoughts as I was predicting this thing out. So yeah, if you got predictions, you want to talk, give us your feedback on these. Hit us up on that social media at Strong Honor. All the links to all of our social media will be in the description of the podcast, and we'll go over it again here at the end of the podcast too. So, all right, let's preview really quickly these first 3 nights of the G1. Saturday, Sunday, Monday are the three shows that we'll have before we get to next week's Strong Honor. So, night 1, Togi Makabe versus Yoshihashi. Those are 2 big losers in both of my brackets.
Whoa!
So I got Yoshihashi getting one of his big wins right off the bat there.
Makabe, baby.
You got Makabe with the King Kong knee drop.
He's dropping it into his face.
I like this because you have your predictions written down. You just haven't done the math yet.
Yeah,
so
it's fun. It's interesting.
Kind of go over these as we go through them here. Bad Luck Fale versus Hangman Page. I got Fale in that one.
I got Hangman Page getting the
nice.
big win on that one.
Nice. Michael Elgin versus Evil. I got Evil.
You know I've got Evil.
And Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Minoru Suzuki. This should be a hell of a match. Some history here between these two going for the IC title earlier this year when that was on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Those two had a hell of a match. I believe it was at the New Beginning shows early in the year this year. But I got Tanahashi going over in that one.
And this is where I see Tanahashi's fall begin. Suzuki takes this one. I think Suzuki's gonna have a couple decent big wins in this one to kind of shock people because again, Suzuki fucks shit up.
And you got Tanahashi on the downside of his career, taking a bunch of losses in this thing.
Yeah, I'm going Yuji Nagata on this one.
Okay,
it's not going great for him.
So I'm interested to see what the math is once you add this thing up.
Oh, it's going to be insane, dude.
Does Tanahashi who has more wins, Tanahashi or Togi Makabe?
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
All right, you're going to have to get these things added up here pretty quick here, Joe. And then the main event, night 1, Okada versus Jay White. A lot of people have this one highlighted as their upset special with, Okada off the long, crazy reign, these two being stablemates, Jay White just losing the United States Championship. He's stirring things up in chaos.
They haven't got their one-on-one yet either, have they?
Right. So this is the first time these two are meeting, again, because they're chaos stablemates.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have Jay White with the upset here. I didn't. I went with Okada. So, but yeah, a lot of people have that one highlighted as an upset. So keep an eye on that one on night 1. So night 2 on Sunday, Ishii versus Toru Yano. Interesting because these two are tag team partners. I got Ishii going over on this one.
Oh, Ishii's the man.
Yep.
Juice Robinson versus Tama Tonga. Again, we're back in the B block now.
B block.
Juice Robinson versus Tama Tonga. I know it's a lot of people are going to be tempted to, and probably rightfully so, have Tama Tonga going over here, keeping that momentum going out of the big angle. I went the opposite. I picked Juice in this one, being that he's the new U.S. champion, and it's this loaded B block, and he's taking some key losses. So I got the momentum staying behind Juice. Who you got in this one?
I got Juice in this one in the same sense that, like, even after watching the G1 special with Tama Tonga doing what he did, I'm just like, Juice has got to get this win. He's gonna lose to let's see who. I'm looking at things. He's definitely losing to Naito, probably Zack Sabre Jr. So he's got to have some confidence coming out of this tournament.
How are you feeling on this one here?
I feel like Tama Tonga, I'd personally go with just because that's a match I'd want to see again down the road for the actual championship, and it would be a better victory down the road for Juice as a defense than a G1 win.
Okay. Hiroki Goto versus Sonata. I got Goto getting the win here.
I got Sonata.
Who are you feeling in this one, Taco? Goto and Sonata.
I think Goto would probably pull something out.
Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre.
I did some quick circles.
Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Big rematch here.
Yes.
Oh man.
This goes all the way. Again, this thing goes all the way back to the Cruiserweight Classic, and then they met in last year's G1. You go back to the New Japan Cup earlier this year, where Zack Sabre went on the hell of a run, where he submitted submitted Kota Ibushi. So I got Kota Ibushi going over on this one, getting a little bit of his mojo back against Zack Sabre. Who are you feeling in this?
Zack Sabre is starting his run to the cup, baby.
Who are you feeling here, Taco?
I'm signing the Ibushi side.
Okay, and then
fuck you guys.
Big main event: Tetsuya Naito versus new IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega. I got this one highlighted as my upset special. And it's not even really an upset if you think about it, but I got Naito beating the champion here, first night of the B block.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly because again, Kenny Omega, he's got to take just the right amount out so that he's not going to win. Being the champion and everything like that. I like Naito in this match. Again, first night, we need something big. We need something amazing out of these guys to set the pace for the amazing storyline telling we're going to get for Naito Okada, Naito Kenny Omega, wherever it may go. We're going to get a great story out of it. This is where it starts.
Yeah, if Naito's so heavily favored to win the G1 and go on to the I was going to say Silver Dome.
Do you mean the Superdome?
To me, it makes more sense for him to lose in this situation, put that doubt in your head that, oh, fuck, he just lost to the champ. Omega's the champ now. He's a different guy. Starting off the tournament with a loss. It's that build-up story, has that doubt in your head the whole tournament. Like, is Naito going to do it? Being a no-biter.
And that's something
wins
they've
the
done.
Tournament, so
that's something they've done before, too, where a guy will take a couple of losses early, then start gaining momentum as they go into the finals. But I booked Naito solid, strong, early and often in the tournament, just because he's had such a down year. It's like, okay, now it's the G1. It's time to turn it on. And just because I wanted to be contrarian and go against the Jay White upsetting Okada, I said, well, fuck that. I'm going to have Naito beat Omega. And the way I got it booked, this is a preview for the Tokyo Dome. And so Naito beating Omega, he has that victory over the champion. Can he do it again in the Tokyo Dome?
Part of me, too, out of this whole tournament, too, is the big story of the year for Naito. Naito is fucking Jericho. Is him pandering too much to the fucking crowd and losing. Every time he panders, he loses. So maybe over the course of this tournament, we kind of see him go, turning a little bit, getting, cockier. And
maybe
more,
a little
skullduggery. Getting more skullduggery involved and correct. So that way when he does, win the tournament, we can see a classic face Kenny Omega against a heel Okada. Or Naito, excuse me.
Yeah.
So, that to me, him winning the G1 he would have to literally fucking do opposite of what he did last year and actually throw the trophy out of the ring and say, fuck all y'all again. Like, go back to that, Naito.
All right, then Monday night we go back to the A block. And it's Yoshihashi versus Evil. I got Evil there.
Oh, definitely.
Hangman Page versus Michael Elgin. I got Page here.
Oh, definitely Hangman Page.
Yeah, the Big Dick Bandit.
Kazuchika Okada versus Bad Luck Fale. There's a little bit of history, I believe, between these two.
One of Fale's best matches, too. It was one of Okada's early title defenses.
Right, yeah. Fale defeated Okada in the G1. They had a rematch, and it was pretty damn good. Yeah. So some history here, but again, I'm booking Okada strong early and often. I got Okada winning here.
Strong Okada.
Are you feeling Okada?
Same. Okada. It's just one of those matches. I think he's always going to beat Fale.
Toji Makabe versus Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki's taking this one, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he's going to beat the dog shit out of Makabe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Toji Makabe.
Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White. I'm picking the upset here. I'm going with Jay White here.
We're two alike. I got Jay White with this big win, but again, Tanahashi's on the downfall.
But I'm kind of going back and forth here because I got Tanahashi winning strong early night one, and then here's the second night for the A block. I got him losing to Jay White. So it's certainly possible that Suzuki could win night one, and then Jay White wins night two, and then Tanahashi goes on on the tear comeback thing that we were talking about a minute ago as well there. Or it could be what Joe's talking
Or
about.
he just keeps on losing.
Tanahashi just loses and loses and loses and looks like a piece of crap by the end of this thing. So that's the G1 the next week or so, and we'll talk about the thank goodness, we do get a few days off here every few days or so. So we'll talk about the next set of matches after we join you next week. So fun stuff there. All right, before we get into I guess we'll switch gears officially to Ring of Honor here and every time I hear this music, I picture Kyle O'Reilly doing his gimmick, right? Because he used to be right there in the opening
punching the screen.
Doing his shadow boxing gimmick. But a couple of notes before we get into Ring of Honor TV here. The news did drop this week. My predictions are coming true. Flip Gordon is going to face Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be next Friday on the 20th at the Ring of Honor Honor for All show. This is going to be on Honor Club next Friday from Nashville, Tennessee.
Damn, that's soon?
Yeah.
Nick Aldis is coming to Minneapolis soon. I was hoping to see the fucking NWA belt there. Ooh.
This is the fantasy booking that I've been talking about for weeks and weeks now coming true. I love it. This is the
Flip before Cody.
I am rooting for Flip here. This is his in to all, because again, I've heard people are confused on this storyline between Nick Aldis and Cody. The story is, at the All In press conference, Billy Corgan said, Cody, you are going to get a shot at the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship at All In. He didn't say against Nick Aldis. He didn't name an opponent. He just said you are facing, you get a championship match at All In. Then the story developed further to where Cody was in the championship picture for Ring of Honor. Now some people, so Cody was going to challenge for the championship. And then Nick Aldis said, well, if you win the championship, when we face off at All In, we'll do it title for title. And so, but then people got confused and thought, well, Cody has to win the Ring of Honor championship to face Nick Aldis. And so there was some confusion there. The story was always Cody is facing the NWA champion at All In. So I just saw some confusion out there on popular podcasts that should know better. So,
really?
So I just wanted to throw that up because apparently there was some confusion here. So either way, Cody was getting the shot at the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. So now we get to next Friday.
I don't.
If the story is now, if Flip can defeat Nick Aldis and win the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, it will be Flip versus Cody at All In, which is exactly the story they've been telling the whole time, and it's perfect, and I'm glad I have a ticket to the show. They did say that they were going to be announcing soon a streaming / pay-per-view platform for All In, so it will be available on a more traditional kind of pay-per-view or fight TV kind of a thing.
Hey, Taco, what are you doing September 1st?
I'm busy.
Oh, okay.
He was going to come to All In with me, but he's got other shit going
I
on.
drive tractors from like 1919 era. It's cooler than it sounds.
Well, you'll be able to watch it on demand, so just avoid your spoilers. I'm excited for that. And we did get another big match announcement for All In. Okada is going to be taking on Marty Scurll. What do you guys think about this? I saw a lot of negativity.
Fuck those people
towards this match. Yeah. What do you think there, Jim?
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, you've got Okada. You know what he can do. He's not my favorite wrestler, but I picture this matchup, and it's like heavyweight versus junior heavyweight. You've got two of the most technical wrestlers you're going to have in a ring. You know, and two completely different styles. I think it's just going to be a hell of a match and just a lot of fun to watch.
I think a lot of people are coming down on the Marty thing because, well, Marty's a bit of a goofball and he does the silly finger breaker spot in the match and everything kind of builds to that and blah, 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 blah. But Okada has had so many great matches. And this is a unique matchup that you wouldn't normally see in New Japan, a junior versus a heavyweight. So I think that's really unique, and I think that's what makes it interesting. Any other thoughts on that one, Taco?
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be one of those things where Okada's going to be able to take something away from Marty Scurll, as Marty Scurll's going to be able to take a lot away from Okada, too, just in learning, why. So it's good for both guys, and, I honestly hope we get some, like, fucking Backstreet Boys, dancing in the middle of the match at some point, because if anybody's going to pull off that kind of dumb shit, it's going to be those two, and it's going to be fucking hilarious. Like, Okada, I'm loving this goofy Okada shit. It's
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
It's a nice break, because we know how to, a flip like that, he's going to be fucking serious and be able to tear shit up. He doesn't need to do that with Scurll. It's just, you got the, longest reigning IWGP champion to a fucking Super Junior, can, no offense, Marty Scurll, that can hardly, retain his championship. So, taking that off to the side, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's fucking all in. It's Chicago. I want tourist fucking Okada in Chicago. I want to see him and Marty Scurll at the Cracker Barrels in Illinois. Him wearing a fucking stupid, like, a straw hat. Like, it's good times.
Well, and if my prediction comes true of Okada losing the G1 in the finals, it's going to be sad tourist Okada.
He's going to need this. He's going to need a vacation.
He's going to need a vacation right after that, after losing that horrible situation in the G1.
No, this is one of those things which just shut your mind off. Enjoy being a wrestling fan.
Right.
And then finally, before we get into what happened on Ring of Honor TV this week, I think we got to talk a little bit more and get your guys' thoughts, because I talked about it last week, but it was kind of breaking news last week, the Jay Lethal situation with him winning the title, but now this Taylor Hendricks coming out on Twitter and accusing him of some skullduggery, if you will, basically saying that she stopped getting her push and got taken off of TV because she wouldn't sleep with him using his political power or whatever, and this deal with with Truth Martini in there and whatever. Well, she hasn't said anything about Truth, so I shouldn't drag him into it. Some more stuff has come out on Twitter. Jay
Lethal?
Too many J's. Jay Lethal has come out and denied any wrongdoing. He put a thing out there on Twitter. Taylor Hendricks is saying, look, I've got lawyers working on me with this thing. She's using the quotation marks around Ring of Honor's quote investigation. So she's being skeptical that Ring of Honor is looking into this at all. It's a sad, ugly situation, and it's too bad, because I was kind of behind the Jay Lethal championship idea here with him winning the championship kind of out of nowhere on Honor Club or whatever last week.
Go back to the fucking podcast when our podcast when she was coming out with Jay Lethal. All of a sudden she's just gone. I was like, where the fuck did that broad go? Like, what happened to her? And it's kind of, stars are kind of aligning, and then you see who kind of backs Ring of Honor. Sinclair Broadcasting, they don't necessarily have the greatest track record ever, so let's let the investigators do their jobs. For me, it's disappointing.
It's easier to believe Taylor Hendricks than it is Jay Lethal in this situation, which it's unfortunate. So Ring of Honor is going to have to do some investigating.
And it wasn't even like she came out and fucking had I got a press conference. It was just, a fan was like, hey, I miss House of Truth. And she's like, why? Because of this shit?
Right.
It's like, oh, fuck. It wasn't
it was her
a quote, attention grab kind of thing.
It was just a response.
It was a response, but then it blew up.
Of course.
And then she talked about it some more, saying, "Look, I got people looking into this, but I don't think Ring of Honor's taking it."
Jay Lethal doesn't really have the greatest reputation when it comes to ladies in the back room too, apparently. So I guess he's kind of a bragger, one of those kind of guys. So it's like, damn.
Yeah, and he was absent from the last couple of being the elites too. So
well, that's crazy.
So there's that too. So, All right, well, Ring of Honor will have to figure some stuff out, which, it's too bad because he was getting that momentum, not to shift to building him up wrestling-wise, because, now they're going to have, this is, they're probably just going to have to get rid of Jay Lethal,
Yeah, let the investigators do their job. It just sucks because, you thought he was a good guy. You see his career in Impact, and, even then he was one of those guys that ran his mouth on shit, and God, it's just you see him doing all this positive stuff with Ring of Honor, and this news comes out, and it's just fucking disappointing. It's gross.
It's really gross. And what worries me, you keep saying we got to let the investigators do their thing, but how seriously because Ring of Honor says...
I'm talking about her, not
right.
Ring of Honors. I already know fucking Sinclair Broadcasting. They're garbage. They're trash. Like, I can't say much positive about them.
And the tough thing, the tough part about this is what kind of evidence is she even going to have? I'm sure this was a situation where there probably wasn't any witnesses to it. And if there was, are they going to come out on the side? Whose side are they going to come out on? So that's the tough part here. But I think this being out there, I think is going to hurt Jay Lethal's reputation. So even if the investigators can't find anything, even if nothing else really comes out of this, I think Jay Lethal's reputation is already damaged by this.
Fuck yeah,
absolutely.
And Ring of Honor is in a horrible spot, and not of their own. It's not their own fault unless Ring of Honor knew that this was going on behind the scenes. Like if Taylor Hendricks
doing
had
an elegance thing,
right? If Taylor Hendricks had contacted attorneys and all of this stuff, and Ring of Honor knew about it, and Ring of Honor still put the championship on Jay Lethal, some of that onus goes on Ring of Honor here too, because that's just stupid.
Well, even after her coming out with Lethal, you would think they would bump her in the Women of Honor stuff or get her going.
Right,
she had a well-established name with a well-established guy, and that's why it was just so weird. There was
she's been gone. Yeah,
we wish her luck. We're sending her here. It was just who? Oh yeah, Jay Lethal's having a run again. So he's a good guy. Oh, his head is shaved, and let's continue on with this stuff. So it's just fucking weird, and it's kind of stars are aligning.
It sucks.
It does.
And with this recent emergence of the Women of Honor division, what's the phrase? God damn. But it's just the fact that Taylor Hendricks, who was in Ring of Honor for a good amount of time there, the fact that she wasn't involved or brought back is like, well, what's going on there?
What's happened to her career since?
Right. So, yeah, interesting stuff. All right. So let's
get to some wrestling.
Let's talk Ring of Honor TV this week. I think the most interesting thing, believe it or not, coming out of TV this week was probably that Coleman's pulpit thing with the Kingdom. It was one of those, like, the Coleman's pool pit is so it's bad anyway, but this one was next level, like so bad that it was good, I think, with Marcellia popping up with his balloons and
I've never
purple dunce cap that says Melvin on it, but they convince him it's a purple beret because we're harkening back to old times. We're respecting
the rebellion,
respecting your past or whatever. So I just got a kick out of that. Taven's a fucking star on the rise. I know a lot of people don't get it yet.
They will. Fucking Melvins.
It's taken me some time, but I think it's just a matter of time. And if he can keep his nose clean here like some of the other fucking Jay Lethals of the world, I'm digging what they're doing.
Yeah, just all three of those guys, man. Like at first, I definitely gave them the skeptical hippo eyes, and now I'm Team Kingdom, man. Like I'm all on their side. There's definitely a fucking conspiracy afloat. Like they make you question this shit. They even back it up. Them even questioning each other, like the fucking looks on Taven and TK O'Ryan's face when Vinny's pouring wine out of a fucking balloon into his hand. Like, they're like, he's a fucking weirdo, but we love the guy. I think it was
supposed to be blood or something.
Yeah. So it's just like, I love it. They're each, all three of the guys, just looking at them, look like they should not be a team. Like they shouldn't look like they would not be one cohesive unit, but they are. They got each other's backs. They each have different personalities. Just the intro video, you can.
Are you
tell.
Trying to say there's no conspiracy?
So, I'm fucking loving everything they're doing. And, here that Taven's even tearing it up down to CMLL. He has their welterweight championship and everything. It's, fuck, man, there's your star there.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is all to build up to the big 6-man gauntlet match deal that they're 6-team gauntlet. They're having a big fucking gauntlet match next week to determine the number one contender for the Kingdom's 6-man championships. So it's a conspiracy because the Kingdom had to toil for over a year just to get their rematch, but now they're going to have a
just handouts to every team in Ring of Honor.
Trying to tell me there's no conspiracy.
It's a goddamn conspiracy.
What do you fucking say, you Melvin Jive ass turkey? Sucker! You Melvin Jive turkey sucker!
Yeah, I really fell off the boat by not getting some Ring of Honor TV sound bites this week.
They were fucking great.
I apologize. I might have
Coleman, man, even he was awesome. I'm even liking him on commentary.
He's okay. I like Colt Cabana
Colt's
better.
Great. He's really good.
I like the story that they told here with basically that Coleman had to come out and do commentary because Colt was all fired up after that segment with Bully Ray and Cheeseburger. Let's talk about that. Bully Ray versus Cheeseburger.
Awesome.
In a no DQ, it was no DQ and no countouts because the last two matches, Bully Ray voluntarily took a countout, but he beat the shit out of Cheeseburger and then just stood outside the ring and stared at a fan. And then he got DQ'd in the next match because he beat him up with a chain. So we have the match here. Beats the shit out of Cheeseburger some more. Cheeseburger makes a comeback with the kendo stick. He got a little bit of hope for Cheeseburger, but Bully Ray just beats him down some more. He beats up the referee. He doesn't give a fuck. Colt Cabana's finally seen enough. He comes down to the ring, confronts Bully Ray, and he beats up Bully Ray a little bit, then gets out of the way so Cheeseburger can get back into it, but Cheeseburger doesn't get back into it. It was a little awkward with Colt just kind of standing out there at ringside. Like, why did you stop helping him? You should keep helping him. He's your friend now.
I thought about it, but he was sitting there encouraging him. He's like, come on, so it was just like, let the man be a man. He's got to fight his own fights. He can only do so much.
I did like the deal because the crowd was chanting tables, tables, tables the whole match. Bully Ray wasn't delivering smart move because that would get him cheered.
Yep.
But they do this thing with Colt. He comes in, they do the get the table spot, so then he can get the pop for getting the table. But then Bully Ray makes his comeback, goes for the big splash, but he moves out of the way. Cheeseburger moves out of the way and gets the really good near fall there. And that's when that's when it started to make a little sense with Colt Cabana at ringside because an official came out and kind of shooed him out like, you can't be out here. No, stop getting involved. And so they kind of
BJ Whitmore came down too. Yep.
That's what it was. BJ Whitmer came out and got Colt Cabana out of there.
It shows you how fucking good Bully Ray is, or Bubba Ray is, really, though. To be that booed and that fucking nasty under that roof of, he's a legend under that roof.
Right.
He built that place, essentially.
Right. People are chanting EC Dub early in the match,
for the crowd to be chanting for Cheeseburger, of all people, against Bully Ray under there, it's good, man. Like, he's fucking nasty, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad not more people are like that in Ring of Honor because it sticks out and it shines, and it's getting someone like fucking Cheeseburger that much attention, and that fucking pop was hard, man, like loud.
It's a little bit strange in that they're moving on from the Flip thing because Flip just beat the shit out of Bully Ray, but Bully Ray ended up taking a DQ or something. I forget what was the best in the world, taking a DQ or getting the win after some skullduggery.
The knight in shining armor kind of guy for Ring of Honor. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. It seems like he'll always come out and save someone if he has to. So I'm kind of glad they pulled the Colt Cabana aspect out, because last we saw from him, he was a heel in a sense, but still being cheered. So I'm kind of more interested in a Bubba Colt match than a Flip and Bubba match at this point.
Right. Well, and with the Nick Aldis thing next week, and we're quickly moving.
Like, he's too into Bullet Club shit.
Right. Quickly moving to All In after that. So it's kind of that they're going to probably shift to the Flip and Cody storyline in sometime in August here. So obviously. So, but yeah, I still kind of wanted to see. I still want to see Flip get that pin on Bully Ray or whatever. But they did a good job at the pay-per-view with him just dominating Bully Ray so much that he had to desperately, go for the DQ or whatever. So I guess I'm okay with it. Then main event was Teton versus Cody. It was odd again because this being taped weeks ago, we have blonde heel Cody out there with Bernard and Brandy doing the skullduggery and all that stuff. And he's already kind of had the babyface turn after the events at the G1 special. So he's he had back to the brown hair at the G1 special. So again, the continuity issues are a problem. But it feels like Cody is still probably going to be a little bit of a heel in the Flip Gordon situation in that story going forward in Ring of Honor anyway. It'll be interesting to see what Cody's role is Bullet Club wise in the the faction war against the Tongans, and where does he fit in with all of that, and where does he fit in on the state side?
Get him on a face side already. Like, he's so fun as a heel, but it's just like that Omega match was just so abundantly clear. What I fucking say every week that it's fun to like the bad guy, and Cody's that proof. Like, I either want him nasty, booed out of the fucking building, which I know he could get. Like, he can be nasty, nasty.
He could do the babyface, but he could be a babyface and still come out with Bernard and Brandy. And if you're doing skullduggery against, Vinny Marcellia or Punishment Martinez, it's going to get over anyway. So,
right.
Well, I like that people made a big deal over Cody's hair, the fact that he dyed it again when all it was is that he did an Arrow episode.
Did he do? How many did he do though? Because he's had that blonde hair for like months now. But
I think he's just a side character in the show,
right?
So like literally shows up for a cup of coffee and takes off.
So he's there once in a while, so he has to keep the blonde hair. Okay, I get it. All right. Let's see. We had a Women of Honor match. That was okay. Sumi Sakai got the win with the Smash Mouth. Just getting her finisher over. That's all that was to me. And that was pretty much the Ring of Honor. Oh, the dogs.
Oh, my God.
They stole some jobber's wallet. There was only $6 and some receipts in there. I don't know what the story
Guy had it coming.
I mean, I guess maybe that guy's going to be their tag team partner in the Gauntlet next week. The dogs have been searching for a tag team partner. Maybe they'll...
I thought they wanted some like beer money or something.
Well, probably, but the guy only had $6. So I just thought that was funny. Finally, so that's Ring of Honor TV. This week on Being the Elite, some follow-up, definitely not as good as last week's Being the Elite with the memorial for famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan. But we've followed that up this week with some interesting stuff. So we go back to Jericho's hotel where he discovers Marty Scurll is hiding in his closet. He confronts Marty Scurll. Why are you hiding in my closet? Oh, he's like, I've got some ideas. I want to be in the Alpha Club. And he's like, and Jericho's like, no, we'll take it under consideration. I don't know about that, all that. And he's like, well, I'm trying to get somebody in the Villain Club. Maybe you want to do that. And so then Jericho starts writing some things down. And he's like, what are you doing? Is that a list? He's like, no. We can't do a list here. It's not a list. He insists that that's not a list. He finally gets tired of Marty Scurll and kicks him out of the room. Marty tries to hide in the closet again. Like, no, leave the room now. And then he finally leaves the room, and Jericho's like, you just made the list. So he says it anyway. Matt talks to Cody before the match with Omega, saying, "I sense the good in you. You changed. You used to be so cool. You used to be this awesome guy. And why this change? Why don't you go back to being the Cody that you used to be?" So he kind of plants those seeds in Cody's mind, and Cody looks receptive to them. SCU was not on this trip. SCU they weren't SCU was not in Southern California, even though New Japan was. They're off in Virginia somewhere, so they were upset at Virginia because
Virginia sucks.
Right,
yeah, it does.
Right, yeah, they cut a promo on Virginia. Of course, the Young Bucks ask Omega now before the match. First they ask him, "What's the secret to 5 stars?" And he's got some stuff here and there. He's like, "Well, the secret is he's reading a psychology book," and so that was just a silly moment there. But then the Young Bucks ask Omega to not necessarily go easy on Cody, but don't kill Cody. We sense there's some good there. You know, are you really going to V-trigger the guy 20 times in the face here? He's our guy. We sense that there's some good there. Don't kill Cody, please. And he takes it under consideration, of course. Then we go into some highlights of the Tongans attacking the Bullet Club. Cody, then after the Tongan attack, the entire Bullet Club, the Elite, is hanging out looking somber in a hotel room, and they're all eating their food or whatever. And then Cody comes in. He's the last one there. He sits on the couch between Omega and Marty Scurll, and everybody's looking sad and eating their food. And Omega even offers Cody a piece of whatever he was eating, and Cody takes a bite and says, "What are we going to do about these fucking Tongans?" and what the hell's up with fucking Haku? What's his beef?
That is awesome.
It's kind of interesting because it's all been about who's the Bullet Club leader, and Cody loses, and it's all about Omega retaining the championship. But then in this somber moment, Cody comes in this moment of unity and kind of takes that leadership and says, "What are we going to do about this?" So I thought that was a cool way cool way to wrap up the Elite there. All right, now we will pause while I look for a Kojima
Oh, hold
tweet.
up. No, I'll talk about that Dojo Pro.
Oh,
Dojo Pro.
Dojo Pro.
Yes, I wanted to.
Yeah, it was announced, I don't know, within the last week or whatever, that on Amazon Prime they're doing this 12-episode Dojo Pro where no-namers fight each other and slowly climb up a ladder, almost like the arcade style Mortal Kombat back in the day.
Nice.
Where they fight for a white belt, and then they move up to next in line, whoever's they brought in some talents and put them in different seeds, and like number 8 was Joey Janela,
Nice.
So he's screaming like, "I'm fucking number 1. I should be number 1 of this tournament. I'm the best." So you guys got like people like Joey Janela, Shane Strickland. Number 1 seed is Jeff Cobb. So
Nice.
all these guys are essentially working their way up this ladder. You lose, you get eliminated, and yeah, it was fun. It was almost like the Ultimate Fighter. It reminded me of the show back in the day on UPN where they did like Power Ranger shit, like ninjas fighting each other, like almost in the same bracket though. So it kind of I wish I remember the name of this show, but yeah, it was cool. And the winner of this tournament, I don't want to give any spoilers of it yet because it's still fresh.
Yeah,
but, the winner of this tournament gets to go on to Ring of Honor and get a shot at the TV title.
And this sounds really interesting. And with the G1 coming, I might not have time to watch it.
Well, each episode's only about 20-30 minutes, so they actually give these guys. I mean, there's. The guy that goes on, probably, the Shane Strickland match is probably one of the best ones out there.
Nice.
But the gentleman that goes on to, to face that, like, there's a lot of names in there that, I really wasn't familiar with. Even people like Joey Janela, I've only seen a small handful of his matches. I'm always fucking down for a Shane Strickland match or a fucking Jeff Cobb match, 100%. So, just having those names on there, and in the middle of the bracket, too, they had, like, the vet, and was James Storm. So you get to see whoever, goes on and continues on up those ranks. Like, every match, you don't know who's going to continue on. So.
Do you know when this TV title match is going to take place, or they have?
I have not yet. I kind of gave the Dojo Pro a shout out on Twitter there, and they said we'll have an announcement coming up soon on the winner facing the TV going on to face the TV champion. So, very cool stuff. I kind of hope we see more stuff like this because it was definitely an awesome way to introduce. People like I've seen this guy floating around online for a while, the MJF. And so I finally got to see a match of his.
Colt Cabana's son.
Yeah, right. 100%. So yeah, it was cool to see them, and they kind of. First off, the belts are kind of silly, but I love it because it's kind of the vibe. A very small, intimate crowd too. Like
sure.
It was just a small room, handful of people.
Hot crowd.
Oh yeah, you could hear them loud and clear, and there was no apron around the ring or anything because you see right through the ring, and some all that too, and I just love that. It was just so dumbed down, and so isolated, and so minimalistic. It was kind of refreshing. When it comes to the matches and the abilities, you're not going to get a fucking 5-star our fucking Meltzer review. If you're looking for that, don't come here. It was just so fun to see, some of these names. Like I said, later on, like the Shane Strickland match, I was like, all right, that was worth watching there. But yeah, it was just awesome to see some of these names, and they had some guy. I wish I would have fucking wrote down some of these guys' names, but one of the cats trained up. He used to, go to school with the Young Bucks and train with them, and then he kind of had to stop that, go do the family life, and he's getting back into the wrestling biz. And another guy was
he's a SoCal guy then.
Yep, Cucamonga, whatever,
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yep. So. And then there's another guy out there, too. I guess he was AJ Styles' last indie match. AJ trained him, so that's his big shtick. So,
cool.
He's saying, fucking AJ Styles trained me. Why am I not everywhere? And I guess he had a whole new look and get-up going on. So, yeah, it was fun to see a lot of these faces that I've kind of been seeing clips of on Twitter or, have minimal knowledge, like a Joey Janela kind of on this show. And it's just interesting format, and I like that something so minimalistic, with, I don't want to say no meaning, they're able to team up with Ring of Honor and make meaning out of it. Like, you're getting a TV shot. This is your opportunity, because it's fun to see those I don't want to say Young Lion matches on there, the new breed, new blood tournaments they do with like that Josh Woods one or whatever.
I can't think of it now.
Young Prospect or whatever.
Top Prospect
tournament.
Yeah.
So, those are fun to see, those guys. So it was cool to see like a company like Amazon have this on their Prime service. So if you 30-day, they have those 30-day.
I got Prime.
So, yeah, it's on there.
I'm going to check that out. Do it.
Yeah.
I got no time.
I dare you.
G1 starts on Saturday.
I think it's one of those things where you can go on there, kind of skip through the matches, and then when you get to like the final four, you can probably sit down. There's 2 hours right there or some shit. But at least check out the Strickland and Cobb matches.
For sure,
and,
sure.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see whomever continues on to that tournament, see what they do in Ring of Honor, see what how they present that on Ring of Honor TV and everything, and then
Might
also
be an Honor Club thing.
Yeah, maybe. And then it was also fun to see, too, that it was like there was a bunch of PCW shit on Amazon that I found. So I was like, fucking, a lot of recent stuff, So it's like, yeah, I want more fucking Johnny Impact, Mundo, wherever fucking company he's with, taking their name, RVD, Jeff Cobb matches. So it's like, shit, yeah, hell
it's amazing stuff.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, Amazon getting on the game.
All right, well, let's get out of here. We've been doing this long enough today. Let's do that Kojima tweet.
Now it's time for the Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Kojima bringing the knowledge this week. He had some good tweets and some sad tweets, I noticed. There's some awful flooding going on, and people are dying, and it's awful. And he talked about this famous wrestler that died many years ago that he wants you to check out. So there's that out there, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter here for this segment. You can follow Kojima on Twitter at cozy_lariat. And today, he has some advice for you if you'd like to tweet back at him. Foreigners, reply in English. Thank you. I am Japanese, so I cannot understand it perfectly, but I understand the feelings you want to convey. I'm grateful. Also, eat bread.
Yeah.
So that's Kojima in rare form there. Very good stuff from Kojima. So make sure you follow the show at Strong Honor. Check out our other podcast, the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, our predictions for this weekend's, whatever the pay-per-view is. Extreme Rules.
Mediocre Rules.
Going to be recording those shortly here. So check out Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. And then what else? Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. I don't know. I'm all over the place. What am I talking about here? Strong Honor Podcast at gmail.com. I apologize. That's the email if you want to email the show. Links in the description. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Real quick, make sure you check out SLTDWrestling.com. You can find this podcast, the other podcast. There's an Impact podcast over there. Cool stuff. A new podcast network they just started up there. So check that out at SLTDWrestling.com. Cool articles, predictions, Fantasy League, whatever else you want. Check that out over there. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. That's it. Bye.
Peace.
That's powerful.
I have too many notes, man.
Get out of the fucking ring.
He's from Minnesota. All Minnesotans know Japanese as a second language.
Fuck Michael Elgin.